Behind me here, I have Varuna. This is our 1982 Pearson 367, and she has been our full-time floating sailing home for the past 3.5 years. But it's time we put her up for sale, so today I'm going to give you a closer look both above and below decks so you can get a full tour. Starting up here at the bow, we have our bowsprit / anchor pulpit. This is actually a new piece of hardware that was put on in Ventura in September of 2016. It's a beast. It is solid stainless steel. It's a double roller. We have both our primary rocknet anchor up here and our secondary Bruce anchor. It's a great piece of equipment. We also can run our spinnaker off the very front loop there. As for anchors, we have a Rockna 20, which is 20 kilos or 44 pounds. And then we also have a Bruce anchor, which is a 33-pound anchor. Coming back, we have 250 feet of 5/16 high test anchor chain. That chain leads back to our Maxwell 1000 windlass, which has a windlass remote. It's powered both up and down. Goes down here through a hose pipe straight to the anchor locker. Up front, this is our headstay. We have a 140% Genoa on a roller furling up here. It's a big, beefy roller furling. It's been upsized from the original. It's very strong. We've never had any issues with it. Coming back here, this is our staysail. It is also on a roller furling. This is actually the original furler that was on the headstay, was moved back here. Continuing back from the bow, on the side deck over here, this is our whisker pole. It's a 4-spar telescoping whisker pole with mounts on the side deck there. Up here at the mast, we have a nice stack pack and mast cover here for the sail. And unzip this. Inside here, we have a few winches. We have a total of 4 2-speed winches, and one over here 1-speed winch, which is our reefing winch. I'll show you that in a second. Up top, this is our spinnaker halyard. Down here, this is our main halyard. So our mainsail is raised and lowered from up here at the mast. Around the other side, these 2 winches are for our head sails. Only have to raise or lower those when we're taking them on or off the furler, since they're on furlers. Back here, this is our mainsail. It's in a stack pack with lazy jacks on it. Inside, it is a fully battened mainsail with 3 reef points on it, and it's done a really good job for us. Varuna's reefing lines run in the boom and come out right down here at a cam cleat. Also have a reefing winch down here on the mast if you need a little bit extra purchase. And then for the temporary tack, there is a hook and eye system on the sail and up here on the boom. Right here we have our running backstay system. Varuna is a cutter rig, and what the running backs do, they come up to the mast basically even with where that staysail is. In heavy weather, you can run them back, and that provides extra stability to the mast and prevents some of the pumping forward that the staysail can give it. These are Dyneema, recently replaced just back in April of this year, of 2019, and they come down to a 4-part tackle, block and tackle system. This is their stowed away position. They come up even pretty much with the lower shrouds, and when we deploy them, there's a snap shackle on here. We take that off, slack this line and slack this line, bring it back to a pad eye back near the cockpit. So it's been led back to the pad eye that's down on the rail here. It's on this purchase system. Just give it a good tug, tighten her up, and you're good to go. If you want to get it out of the way because you're tacking but you don't want to totally disconnect it and put it back forward, super simple. Pop that free. There's a tension line here. This line, you can see that is this line. I just pull it, pull some slack, and I can pull it forward. Alright, there we go. So this is really handy if you're tacking and you need to get the boom out on this side, but you don't want to go forward because it's rough seas or heavy weather. From right here in the cockpit, You can pull that running backstay all the way forward, completely even with the lower shroud, and you have no issues of it being in the way of the boom. Really cool system. One of the things that really drew us to Varuna when we purchased her was this awesome cockpit. We were looking for a cockpit that had seats long enough that we could lay down and sleep outside, and also tons of space for entertaining people, if that's what you like to do. Back here, this is our helm. Underneath we have a teak table with cup holders. This table folds up and it also folds out, so it's quite a large table. Back here at the helm we have a Raymarine C70 chart plotter, and then we also have a compass and our nice wheel. Wheel is dipped in some sort of plastic material, but it's very, very comfy. It's insulated. The wheel does not get hot and it does not get cold, which is great for both warm and cold weather. You can be up here steering and not have your hands getting burnt or frozen. Back here, this is the control and display for our autopilot. Set the autopilot right here from the helm. Shore power inlet, and then a really cool thing in this little cubby here, which is a great storage cubby. It's good for winch handles, spare line, sunglasses, sunscreen, whatever you have laying around. But in here, a little door you can take off, and we have a hot or cold cockpit shower. Then down in this hatch here, we have a matching one on the other side. These are our propane lockers. They're vented, drain out the back. Varuna has two 10-pound propane tanks, and you can switch them off and on. They have solenoids, swap them out, so you always have a free one, full one in here, and you have one that gets empty. For our winches in the cockpit, on either side we have two-speed self-tailing Lumar 30s. These we use as our secondary winch for the staysail. And then back here, on either side we have two Lumar 44, two-speed self-tailing. Those are our primary winches for the Genoa. This right here, this is our main sheet. It runs from our Traveler down here on a 4-part purchase system up to the boom, back to the mast, and down to a winch right here. This is a 2-speed Lumar 30 winch, self-tailing, and the 4-part block and tackle system makes it super easy to sheet it. We basically never have to use a winch handle on it, but it's handy to have that. Runs down to our Traveler that comes across the cockpit here. We've been surprised. We thought having the Traveler through the cockpit here would get in the way a lot, and it actually never has. It's a really cool setup because you can adjust it from one point. You don't have to slack one end and then run over to the other side of the cockpit to get the other. It's all in the middle and it's super easy to use. Up on the side of the cockpit here, these are instruments. Up top, we have a wind indicator, wind speed, and wind direction. Next, that is our speed. We have speed over ground and boat speed if we have our speed log in. And then down here, depth sounder. Back here, Varuna has 3 very large storage lockers up here in the cockpit. Both sides open up. In there is a heap of storage. Right here, inside the locker, this right here is our water heater. So it's an AC water heater, and it also has a clarifier run through it, which means anytime we're running the engine, we have hot water, or if we're plugged into shore power, we have hot water. Over here in the port side cockpit locker, we have our battery bank. So under that wood case, those are our house bank. We have 2 6-volt AGM batteries. That's a 400 amp hour house bank. And then this guy right here, that's our starter battery. It is also an AGM. To power those batteries, Varuna has 2 320 watt LG panels, each hooked up to their own Victron MPPT charge controller. I think that pretty much covers it up here. Let's go have a look inside. Welcome to the inside of Varuna. On the port side here, we have a nice, secure U-shaped galley. And then over on the starboard side, we have the chart table. Let's start in the galley. In front of me here, this is our refrigeration. It's powered by a Seafrost 12-volt refrigerator compressor. Over on this side, this is the freezer. This is where the cold plates are actually located. There are 2 cold plates in there. And it spills over through a little spillover in the bottom to this, which is the fridge or the ice box. Both of them are quite good size units, good size boxes. You can fit quite a lot in there. Up above the refrigerator here, this is all storage. It's all compartmentalized. It's great for storing plates, cups, all that sort of stuff. Our countertops, all Corian countertops in here. It's a nice bright look. It's super easy to clean and it doesn't really stain, which is really nice as opposed to the Formica that you see in a lot of boats. Over here, this is our stove and oven. Has a nice cover that you can cover and use it as counter space or lift up, slide back. 3-burner stove on here, gimbaled, little latch so when you're underway, no issues cooking if you're heeled over, rocking back and forth. And inside, oven. So quite a good size oven, fit quite a lot in there. Back behind the stove and the fridge, there's a nice long cupboard back there. It also has this really nice breathable material on there to get air circulation, so you don't have that stagnant air and problems with condensation back there. On the other side of the stove here, in the back corner kind of, there is a hatch. That goes down. There's tons of storage down there for dry goods or whatever you want to put down there. Continuing on around from that back corner, over here we have the sink. It's a really deep double stainless sink, which is super useful in a boat, having the double sink and also having a very deep. We have a bunch of different taps on the sink here. Over here, this is our hand pump. It's a freshwater hand pump from the tanks, our freshwater tanks. This, pressurized fresh water. Over here, that is filtered fresh water, like filtered drinking water. Then this one over here, that is a foot pump for salt water, which is super handy to have as well. Opposite the galley, on the other side here, this is our chart table. Seat folds out, sit down, opens up, and a few drawers on the other side. Pretty basic chart table. Directly inside the companionway here, to the aft side of the chart table, against this bulkhead, we have all of our breaker panels. There's also some up at the chart table. Underneath here, storage. Also a little storage cubby back in here. Underneath the stairs, lifting hatch for a bit of basic storage. And then behind here, I'll show you, that is our engine. Inside, that little bit of red that you can see, that is our engine. Varuna has a Beta Marine 38 horsepower diesel engine. It was installed in 2011, brand new. It's a V-drive, so technically this is kind of like the back side of the engine. You can access the other parts of the engine through both of the cockpit lockers, and then access part of it here. Forward of the galley and the chart table here, this is the main salon. There's a settee on either side, both on the port side and over on the starboard side. Up against this forward bulkhead here, this is a table. Unscrews and folds down. And then it also folds out to become a large table, so you can sit, have guests, company down here, and all sit around one large table. Or if it's just one or two of us on board, a lot of times we just use the small table, saves space, makes it easier to walk around. Has a drop down leg and then a temporary leg that comes in and supports this side. Behind it, a bookshelf. Over on the starboard settee here, this actually pulls out and becomes a double berth if you like. And back behind, we have these cushions come down, some huge cupboards in here. And that is on both sides. There's 1, 2, 3 on the starboard side and 3 over on the port side. Great storage. It locks in so they don't fly open underway. Underneath the settee here, this is a water tank. One of our 3 water tanks on board. 50 gallons under the starboard settee, 50 gallons under the port settee, and 50 gallons up under the V-berth. So 3 tanks, a total of 150 gallons, which is a lot of water. Over here on the port side, we have another settee. It can also double as a bunk. It pulls out. It doesn't pull out to become a double, but it does pull out a little bit to give you a bit more space. Down here next to the settee, this is opposite the fridge is on the other side of this. We have an inverter right here. It's a 600 watt Pearson inverter. Really great unit. Working our way further forward, up in front of the port side settee here, little shelf, got a cupboard in there. This is our heater. It's a propane Force 10 cozy cabin heater. Light it from right here. It's plumbed into the propane, same propane tanks we use for cooking back there. Then we have a drawer and another cupboard down here for more storage. On the other side of the heater here, against this wall, we have some bookshelves, magazine rack type things. We have 3 of them along the wall here. And then up forward, that is our mast. We have a keel step mast. And this door right here, this is our head, the bathroom. Welcome to the bathroom. We have a toilet down here. It's a Jabsco manual head. We have some storage cupboards behind the sink there. Again, they have that material on there that allows air to breathe. And then underneath here, that is a little hatch, has a laundry bag under there and also some storage underneath. Also under there is a Y valve. It's a 3-way Y valve, so it comes from the head. We can change it to pump into the holding tank, which is up underneath the V-berth. It's a 14-gallon holding tank, or we can change it to pump directly overboard from the toilet when we're offshore. And then where I'm standing is another cool feature of this boat. It has a full separate shower, so you don't have to shower in the bathroom here getting everything wet. It has a separate step down, so it has lots of nice height above you, walk-in shower. It drains into its own separate dedicated shower sump and then has a pump to pump it out overboard. Alright, continuing on up the hallway outside the head. Over on the port side here, we have a hanging locker. Open up, hang stuff, store stuff. And then all the way up here, this is the V-berth. This is where Ty and I generally sleep. Nice comfy mattress up here. It's a decent length. All V-berths are a bit cramped sometimes, but this one at least is a decent length long. And then once you come through the doorway in here, on both the starboard and the port side, more lockers, more storage. Also some storage along the sides of the bunks up here.
Varuna has 2 large opening hatches, one in the V-berth and one in the main salon, with screens and shade covers on both. She also has 9 opening port lights that all have screens and curtains. Throughout the cabin, there are also several efficient DC-powered fans, as well as a ship's clock and a barometer. Varuna is currently listed with a broker. However, we are also selling her directly as a for sale by owner as well. If you're interested, please contact us directly with your inquiry, and for a complete list of equipment, see our website, adventureadrift.com.